There's a type of person who disappears without warning. They leave social media, stop replying, cancel everything, and almost everyone thinks the same thing about them. But what science has discovered about this behavior will make you rethink every judgment you've ever made, and maybe even rethink yourself. Before getting to the part that really hits, and it will, you need to understand what happens in this person's brain when they decide to disappear. Neuroscience has uncovered something unsettling. The human brain processes social exclusion in the same region that processes physical pain. This isn't a metaphor, it's physiology. That means being ignored, rejected, or not belonging hurts with the same intensity as a fracture. Now think, if connection hurts that much when it's broken, what happens to someone who has been broken repeatedly? Here's the first thing almost no one tells you. Isolation rarely begins as a rejection of the world. It begins as a response to a world that rejected first. The person didn't close off because they're cold. They closed off because they learned that opening up hurts. But something even more invisible is happening, and this is where most people get it completely wrong. There's a huge difference between introversion and defensive isolation. An introvert recharges alone but still wants connection. Someone who isolates defensively isn't seeking silence, they're avoiding risk. The thought isn't, "I prefer to be alone," it's, "If I get close, it will hurt again." It's survival disguised as preference. And there's a pattern that shows up in almost every case. The person tried to open up and was invalidated, tried to trust and was betrayed, tried to fit in and was ridiculed. The brain doesn't forget this. It catalogs it as a threat and begins to avoid the stimulus. It's not weakness, it's adaptive intelligence in an environment that wasn't safe. There's also chronic emotional exhaustion. When the nervous system spends too long on high alert, interacting stops being natural and becomes costly. Replying to messages feels heavy. Maintaining a conversation drains energy. It's not arrogance, it's the price of a nervous system that's been overcharged for too long. Now comes the part I promised at the beginning, the uncomfortable one. Not all isolation is victimhood. There's isolation as healing and isolation as anesthesia. One reorganizes, the other avoids. And the brain doesn't easily distinguish between the two because comfort and stagnation feel similar. The cruel paradox is this: the longer someone isolates out of fear of rejection, the more their social skills rust, and the more they rust, the greater the fear of returning. What began as protection becomes a trap. But there's something beautiful here that almost no one talks about. People who isolate deeply often observe deeply. They develop rich, creative, analytical inner worlds. External silence becomes internal depth. The problem was never loneliness, it was the unresolved pain that created it. The right question isn't, "Why did this person pull away?" It's, "What happened that made them believe being alone is safer than connecting?" Because no one is born wanting to disconnect, that's learned. And the same brain that learned to close off can learn to open again, slowly, safely, with the right people. Behind almost every case of isolation, there's something simple and deeply human. The person just wanted to stop getting hurt. If this resonated with you, or if you recognized someone in this text, save it and share it with someone who needs to see it. Sometimes the first step for someone to open up again is feeling that someone tried to understand.